Welcome everyone to this week's edition of Worldview. My name is Emma.
And my name is Chia. Each side of the civil war in Libya pushed forward on Saturday. Military forces loyal to Gaddafi launched another day of brutal attacks on the rebel-held city of Zawa. Government forces' assault on the rebels drove them out of the coastal city of Ben Hawad. The rebels were forced onto the main coastal road and were under heavy fire from tanks, artillery, airstrikes. Hundreds of deaths have been reported. Many nations are looking at ways to help the people of Libya.
People in the United States have called for the creation of a no-fly zone over Libya. This will stop government planes from attacking rebel forces. Some senators are urging the Obama administration to also aid the Libyan rebels with intelligence, arms, and training. Others have called for bombing Libyan Air Force planes. This will cost taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. However, the United States will only act if the United Nations approves.
It seems that the royal family will not tolerate demonstrations in Saudi Arabia against the government. On Saturday, about 100 Shiites staged a protest. Security forces were told to act against anyone violating the ban. Residents of the oil-rich country are being offered initiatives, such as debt forgiveness, to prevent further protests.
In Egypt, the interim prime minister has appointed a new caretaker cabinet. Protesters have demanded that all officials who had connections with the former president Mubarak be removed from office. Protesters still continue to storm offices of hated institutions. This week, protesters attacked the offices of the hated secret police when officers were seen burning and shredding documents.
Elsewhere in the Middle East, in Baghdad this week, a 3-mile-long wall built by American forces to prevent terrorist attacks was torn down. The wall blocked barbershops, cafes, and other shops, leaving residents behind what they called a concrete curtain. Many people are grateful that the wall is gone and hope that others are soon be removed.
China has put restrictions on what foreigners are allowed to do in the country. They have done this to prevent more information from the outside world leaking into the Chinese youth. China's fears have increased recently because of the protests in Egypt. The number of visits by foreigners has also been limited, and journalists will be arrested if they are found taking pictures or interviewing Chinese people. Activists are being charged with crimes that will keep them in prison for life.
On Saturday, China's Communist Party called for higher controls on social inflation and measures to decrease the gap between the rich and the poor. The goal is to raise Chinese living standards, and this will also mean creating better jobs, more education, and health care, and low-income housing.
The Tower of David in Caracas, Venezuela, is the tallest building in Latin America. It has become the symbol of financial problems in Caracas. However, since the 1990s, there has been a huge housing problem in the city. The Tower of David is a building that was never finished. Homeless people now inhabit it, even though it has no outside walls, no electricity, and no plumbing.
The United States government has created a cultural center in Jakarta, Indonesia. Visitors to the center will have the opportunity to try out new technology, like the iPad, and see exhibits on American life. This is the first attempt to reach out to countries in hopes that it will bring better feelings toward the United States. Brennan has our school news.
Hello to all you Summit Eagles. We have some important school news this week, so listen carefully. 9th grade speeches will be held again on Monday afternoon. Come listen and learn. On Friday, March 11th, the 9th graders will have their photographs made for the yearbook. Dress appropriately. The upper school spring mixer is scheduled for Friday night, 8 until 10 p.m. Remember to abide by the dress code and make sure your parents pick you up by the end of the dance. An exciting student talent show is being planned. So if you can sing, dance, do magic tricks, yodel, play an instrument, whatever, this is your time to shine. Check the bulletin board outside the upper school office for additional information and other service opportunities. And by the way, check out the Summit store for spirit items, everything from t-shirts to water bottles. It is open every school day morning.
Bye everyone, have a good week.
Thanks for tuning in and have a great weekend.